So functional amino acid used to be in the dietary non-essential category. But lots of research found out, so when the animal under stress or very specific condition or health condition, so they may need a little bit extra several functional amino acids such as arginine, cysteine, and glutamine and asparagine. So just a few examples. So they are not a traditional dietary essential, but we can see they are conditional essential. So when the animal has a disease challenge or stress challenge, we have to supplement a little bit more to make sure so they can meet the requirement, or maybe they can provide some beneficial effects beyond the nutrient requirement.
Welcome to Swine Canada, brought to you by Yanhong. I'm Aline Rimus, your host, dedicated to bring to you the latest insights and discussions in the swine industry. Get ready to expand your knowledge and stay ahead of today's episode. Today, we're diving into science and the art of functional amino acids. What are they? How they go beyond growth and can influence health, immunity, performance in pigs. And where is the research heading on? Joining us, we have Dr. Yanhong Liu, professor at the University of California, Davis, one of the leading voices in the field. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Liu.
Nice to meet you, Eileen.
So Dr. Liu work has deepened our understanding of amino acid metabolism, both in how important they are, but also how they can be used to improve the overall growth and health of these animals. So together we will explore some definitions, mechanism of action, and future of amino acid nutrition in modern pig nutrition. But before we get into that, I would love to hear from you, Dr. Liu, a little bit of your background and how you came to work in this field.
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction for this episode. My name is Yanhong Liu. So I actually have been involved in swine nutrition and try to extend to a little bit in poultry nutrition for more than 15 years. So I got my bachelor back to China, so China Agricultural University for biological science. But then I switch my master to animal nutrition. So my master advisor is a pioneer of swine nutrition in China, Dr. De Fali. So maybe most of you, if you are in swine nutrition area, you may know his name and know his lab, Mafic. So he actually kind of like a foundation, dedicate a foundation or build a foundation in swine nutrition in China. So then I moved to US in 2008, did my PhD with Dr. Jim Pettigrew. So he already retired, but his research in swine nutrition, I know like in some previous research in cell modeling still ongoing. So that's my master and PhD training and how I landed to swine nutrition. So after I got my PhD, I worked with Dr. Hanstein for 4 years as a postdoc. So that's where I know more about the feed ingredients and also the swine industry. So switch a little bit from gut health research to the applied ingredients evaluation. So like it's long history, but I love swine nutrition research. So then I stay here. I was really lucky be able to join UC Davis. So this is actually my 10th year at UC Davis. My current research mainly focus on swine nutrition and also focus on gut health of post-weaning pigs because we have the very collaborative nature here. So focus on One Health, focus on animal health and environment and also public health. So that's my major research area. And also I'm trying to expand a little bit my research to poultry nutrition, but also focus on gut health and also some specific function of amino acids.
That's a very impressive background and some very impressive people you have worked with. I do not think it's luck that you get where you are. I think you have really built an amazing career, and we're lucky to have you here with us. So to put all our listeners in the same page, do you think you can tell us a little bit what are functional amino acids?
So functional amino acids is not actually a new concept. So when you read the textbook of like the fundamental or principle of animal nutrition, so this concept has been in the area for many, many years. So there are also lots of good lab or very productive lab in the US and in Canada worldwide. So they are working with the functional amino acids. So one good example for functional amino acid is arginine. We know arginine has been researched for many years in piglets, in sow, and they have actual benefits. So when the animals under stress conditions. So just use this as example to define the functional amino acids. So we know amino acids, most time we put them in two categories. So dietary essential versus dietary non-essential. So dietary essential means we have to make sure our final or complete feed contain enough of the amino acids because the animal or the host, so they cannot synthesize enough. So functional amino acid used to be in the dietary non-essential category. But lots of research found out, so when the animal under stress or very specific condition or health condition, so they may need a little bit extra several functional amino acids such as arginine, cysteine, and glutamine and asparagine. So just a few examples. So they are not a traditional dietary essential, but we can see they are conditional essential. So when the animal has a disease challenge or stress challenge, we have to supplement a little bit more to make sure so they can meet the requirement, or maybe they can provide some beneficial effects beyond the nutrient requirement.
Dr. Liu, how so you explain a little bit for us how is the concept itself, but like that is a very tricky and funny question. I think we who work with amino acids, we always actually ask this question. But in the end, aren't all amino acids functional?
Not all the based on current research, so we cannot see like all the amino acids are functional. So it's just based on literature review and the current research we done so far, not in our lab, in other labs as well. So I think most research pretty much focus on arginine and leucine, isoleucine, branched chain amino acids. So it's a really tricky question. I think maybe the list will be longer. So we used to think about arginine, glutamine, and cysteine, and leucine, isoleucine. But I think in the future, we probably need to do more research on the different amino acids. Maybe the overall category or structure of the amino acid, how we group them, will be change a little bit.
Yeah, I think because we have the forgotten amino acids. I like to call them forgotten amino acids because we have like methionine, threonine, and so on. They're like everyone researching them. But then when you do metabolomics analysis or anything else, you see all the pathways that are linked to histidine, arginine, and many non-essential, what we consider dietary non-essential amino acids coming up during challenge or even during stress challenge. So I think over time, we really looked a lot in this idea of ideal protein profile, but we forget that the body has so many types of protein. And when we have a challenge, especially, we're going to need different types of protein that I think I absolutely agree with you. We're going to have to change the way we categorize them and also the way we define requirements for them, requirements in general, because we always ignore gut microbiota. We always ignore gut health in general, right? But we forever, we just believed there was nothing important there. And now we realize that, wow, that is quite important. And what we're given in the diet, will completely change the way those microbes are answering, how the animal is absorbing them. And I think we're going to start to pay attention much more to other amino acids. Could you list some of the benefits of the functional amino acids?
So before we answer the second question, so about the example, or maybe explain the potential modes of action of functional amino acids. So I would like to very quickly introduce what we are currently right now, or maybe just like let the audience know more about our current focus on E. coli challenge. So after we moved, I moved to UC Davis, staff faculty position here. So we switch our research back to E. coli challenge, so disease challenge model. So our research mainly focus on post-weaning diarrhea caused by F4 or F18 E. coli. So we know like F4 and F18 E. coli, so they are the two most dominant pathogenic E. coli in both US and Canada. So with this model, so we can test different feed additives and how they actually change the gut health, either beneficial or no change, and also try to investigate the potential modes of action. So just give you one example for the functional amino acid we are working right now. So this is a really nice project funded by Novo Nordic Foundation. So we have a collaboration with a faculty in food science and also nutrition, and also we have a collaboration with Aarhus University and the University of Copenhagen. So a really nice project, mainly focused on post-weaning diarrhea. So the final goal is like if we can boost the gut health of overall health of the post-weaning newly weaned pigs, so then we can further reduce the antibiotic use in this critical stage. So beneficial to swine industry and can be used for poultry industry and other industry as well, and also eventually very beneficial to the public health. So one project we are working right now is focused on L-glutamate, and L-aspartate. So I know these two amino acids there are lots of research related to glutamine and also asparagine. So they're not really novel idea, but nobody actually focused on L-glutamate and aspartate because they can also probably be energy source for epithelial cells. So they can also have actual benefits either related to anti-inflammatory or immune responses and also antioxidant. So this is what we are currently doing right now. So my PhD student, Jen Vanchela. So she's actually from Thailand. So her whole PhD focused on these two amino acids. So we are thinking they should be put into the functional amino acid category because based on our E. coli challenge study, so we supplement a little bit actual aspartate and glutamate. So they do have beneficial effects on controlling post-weaning diarrhea and also promote growth performance. So we take lots of tissue sample and blood sample, and also she found out supplementing either 1% or 2% of this amino acid, so they can also beneficial to the intestinal immunity. We are currently doing microbiota analysis and try to figure out if the extra supplements of amino acid so they can change the gut microbiome or not. So compare with one antibiotic treatment. So the summary for this potential modes of action is like we know they can be energy source for epithelial cells. So then they can probably stimulate the gut integrity and barrier function. We know this is very important for gut health. So some amino acid like aspartate, so they are also very important nutrient source for E. coli and also other bacteria. So then we are trying to figure out the balance. So if actual 2%, 1%, so which supplementation level is like can balance the gut health, but not promote pathogenic bacterial growth. The research is still ongoing. So we have just one published paper. This actually just come out this month. So we have more like to explain and or like connect all the story, the whole story together to explain the potential modes of function for these two amino acids.
I think this is really interesting, and it's exactly my point of forgotten amino acids. I think you just like gave the perfect example of two of them, and just so that we understand a little bit how works your sanitary challenge. So you impose the challenge, and then you start the supplementation right away, or you will start before the supplementation and then the challenge. You impose the challenge.
So the challenge model is pretty standardized now. So based on our last few years research, so we took the pig right after weaning. So gave them like a 4 to 7 days adaptation to the experimental diet. So we start to give them the supplements right after weaning. So after they adapt to the new diets and also the housing environment, because we cannot do challenge study in the swine facility, so then we can give the E. coli inoculum either like 2 dose or 3 dose. So most time we do 3 dose, 1 dose per day. So then we have a different measurements to track or monitor the pigs if they get the E. coli challenge will be successful. So we have a fecal culture, we took the blood sample, so we can closely monitor and also we track the diarrhea score to make sure the pigs get the E. coli infection successfully.
That's very interesting. So it's kind of they are already receiving this 1 to 2% plus of functional amino acids. So that is kind of a preventive as well treatment in the sense that that's very interesting. So it's really a post-weaning solution to help with diarrhea. Do you have some numbers of diarrhea incidence of your treatments or similar findings to share with us?
So for the incidence of diarrhea, so in our E. coli challenge model, so when we have a negative control, positive control will get a similar diet, but will be challenged with the E. coli, either F18 or F4. So the incidence of diarrhea in the positive control can be up to 40%. So either like a moderate diarrhea or very severe diarrhea. So in our first experiment with the L-aspartate and L-glutamate, so both of them, they can reduce the diarrhea or incidence of diarrhea around 10 to 20%. So they are not comparable with the carbadox. So we have the carbadox as another control to compare. So the efficacy. So, but they are really, still substantially reduce the diarrhea right after weaning. So currently, Jen also finished her second E. coli challenge study with glutamate and aspartate and also their combination. So trying to dig more about the potential modes of action. So the second trial will get even higher beneficial effects on controlling diarrhea, and also the pigs receive the combination of aspartate and glutamate, so they have a much better growth rate and lower diarrhea score. So we'll have more result published maybe next year, and then you will see like how these two amino acids they could beneficial to the gut health and also overall growth performance of newly weaned pigs.
So, Dr. Liu, you had both aspartate and glutamate combined in one treatment, or you had like these treatments separated and both of them managed to decrease diarrhea and improve growth health?
We have a both. So in her first trial, she did a dose responses analysis. So she had 2 different doses for each amino acid, 1% or 2%. So after the first trial, we figure out like 2% aspartate may be too much. So as I mentioned, aspartate also can be a potential nutrient for E. coli or for other pathogens. So the second trial, so we use 1% for both amino acid and also 1% of combination.
Oh, that's very nice. And do you see a potential of combining? What was better, like combining them, or them alone was already a good thing?
So far, based on her data, so the combination is a little bit better compared with individual amino acids. But as I mentioned, so this is only based on some performance data and also based on the diarrhea score. So we'll have a more analysis related to morphology and systemic inflammation. So we'll have a more clear conclusion or recommendation after she finished her whole PhD dissertation.
Thank you. That's extremely interesting, actually. I'm really looking forward to see more of this research. I think the only follow-up question I would have, and I know that it's not the moment maybe of asking this question, but it's not amino acids that are often available. Do you see any? You study also ingredients yourself. You have a extensive background on that. Do you see any ingredient that would have the potential or having them naturally, or we should always just wear them like free amino acids in the diet?
So in our research, we focus on free amino acids, but we also analyze the whole diet. So the plant ingredients and also animal ingredients. So they contain glutamate and aspartate. So they have a substantial amount of these ingredients. So far we didn't compare different ingredients. So it's only based on corn and soybean meal. Like in Canada, in US, we mainly use corn soybean meal. So we add a little bit amount of fish meal and dry it away because it's for nursery. So they have probably around 0.3% glutamate already. So in our research, we add beyond that, we add actual free glutamate and free aspartate. So we believe these beneficial effects from the free amino acids, because we also track the amino acid metabolism. So we have some metabolomic data come out very soon. But it's very interesting, very good question. So if we confirm supplementing these two amino acids, they do have a beneficial effects on the gut health. So we have to go back to look for different type of feed ingredients or feed formulation if they still have delivered the similar beneficial effects, or it's just like based on our own feed or diet formulation in this research. So that's a really good question and can be future research as well.
Yeah, so we're already heading to our next last question. For the people that are listening to us at home, do not forget to send this podcast to other nutritionists and amino acid enthusiasts like us. I think this one is a very good one in this sense. And do not forget to subscribe, hit like, and leave us comments. And if you have questions for Dr. Liu, please leave the comments in the comment section. Leave her questions, and we might invite her to come back and discuss a little bit more with us about this super interesting topic. Dr. Liu, you already touched a little bit in future research, but do you see other areas that should be studied that are missing research, or where you're heading to in this area?
Yeah, that's a really big question for future research idea or potential direction. So if we only think about post-weaning stage, so that's my major research area. So there are still lots of research we should do. So I know like some lab, they are working with fiber, so functional fiber or dietary fiber. So they are also quite novel right now. So because previously we saw fiber is anti-nutritional factor, but now we figure out supplementing small amount of dietary fiber, so they may be beneficial to the gut health, and they may probably also provide benefits to the post-weaning pigs and sow. So that's a really big area. I'm very interested, but still didn't have time to touch a little bit. So fiber is one. And also the feed additive, I know in the US, in many other countries, so antibiotic as a growth promoter has been restricted. So feed additive and any potential supplements, so they may have a beneficial effects to the gut health, still my interested area. So we will do more research on feed additive, feed supplements, but cannot relay back to your question, last question. So I think we have to back to the feed ingredients again. So because lots of supplements, so we observed they have a beneficial effects in one trial or in many trials, but in commercial setting, so their beneficial effects may be gone or maybe diluted by lots of other confounding factors. So back to the feed ingredients, feed formulation, and also try to do more research in commercial settings beyond the research institute. I think that's very, very important for next few years. For other area, there are lots of future research ideas, as I mentioned before. So we focus on One Health. So anything we are doing right now in animal industry, so we hope we can bring some benefits to the public health. So either reduce antibiotic use or increase the animal welfare or increase the whole agriculture sustainability. So they will be beneficial to the human side as well.
Yeah, I think that is really, really important area of research. I mean, I do think you're really ahead of the curve and looking far ahead in the future, and we need more research like that and applied research that actually bring very important knowledge and practical solutions as what you're doing. So thank you so much.
It's time for our famous three.
Looking to boost the productivity and health of your swine herd? High D is the original pure source of 25-hydroxy-D3, proven in over 100 research trials and fed to millions of pigs each year in North America. High D improves bone strength, immune health, and enhances overall performance. Whether you want to improve sow longevity, get heavier nursery pigs, or help your grow-finish pigs thrive, trust the original, proven 25-hydroxy-D3 High D. Learn more at dsm-firmenich.com/hy-d.
We'll head now to our famous three questions. So, Dr. Liu, could you tell us what is your textbook recommendation in the area that you work? Can be amino acids, can be One Health. So what is your go-to book?
So currently, I'm reading a textbook by Dr. Wu from Texas A&M. So if any of you work with amino acids, you should know his name, Dr. Guoyao Wu. So he's a pioneer in amino acid research in animal nutrition area for sure. So he just published a new book in, I think, 2018. So that's the one I read a lot right now. So Principles of Animal Nutrition. So contains lots of updated information. Yeah, you probably know that.
Oh, so
My
I
favorite
have
book right
another
now.
one here. It's like I always have one of his books on my table, like whether it's here at home, at work. Like I have, I think, 3 or 4 of his books. And as you see, like full of full of notes everywhere. It's like it's also mine, like go-to books in amino acids. It's amazing.
My favorite book, and also all my students, they read the book before they take the qualifying exam. Yeah, so they have to know the principles of animal nutrition.
Yeah, in really good textbooks. And if we step out a little bit of the science side, do you have more in the personal side, some can be a podcast, can be a book, a magazine, anything that you recommend?
I don't have any recommendation for book because honestly, I like read scientific fiction, but the problem is I don't have time now. So I think that's probably for most people they have the same problem, time is always a limiting factor. So I like to read any type of fiction if like I have extra time. So I have lots of hobby, and also I have a dog, so lots of work right now to take care of her. So magazine. So I normally I go to National Hog Farmer and just try to track some latest updates. So that's something like I go routinely, and also I receive the National Pork Board report or summary periodically. So yeah, so there are lots of social media in the US, in Canada, I track. So, but they all good. So, but for non-scientific fiction, I don't have a recommendation. I read some books if I have time. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally understand. And our final question is, what do you believe that sets aside professionals that are successful from those that are not?
That's also a really good question, a really big question. So for the successful professional, I mean, no matter in industry or academia, so I think the most important, especially for our area, like animal science or animal nutrition area, so we have to have a deep fundamental understanding about our research area. So now, I mean, for my student, I think I'm trying to train them to have the ability to make decision. So, lots of time, they are, hesitate and they don't know which decision is a good or bad. So training them how to make a decision, have some holistic thinking, like strong collaboration, communication, skills are very important. So you also work in academia, when we doing some excellent research project, but our student, even myself, so we have the problem or limited skills to communicate our findings to public. I think that's very important. So what we are doing, we believe very important for the industry, but how we convince or how we disseminate our finding to the public and make sure they understand agriculture is also very important. So that's something I think it's very important for professional as well. So successful professional. So there are many others. So like ethical, sustainable mindset, and the most important, I think, like a practical experience. So that's something is missing, or I didn't do a very good job in training my student, because California has a very small set of very small swine industry. But I try to train them, bring them to the conference and make sure they understand the industry, what is the pain points of the swine industry, poultry industry, so that now they will be more excited about their research, so they can, contribute more to our area.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Liu, for being here with us. I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciated the discussion.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eileen, to asking good questions and staying with me for this 20 minutes.
That is my pleasure. And that concludes today's episode of Swine Canada, brought to you by Wise&Ethics. Do not forget to subscribe, like this episode, and comment, and also share with a friend. I really hope that you send us your feedback. Is really important for us. And until next time, this is Aline Remus, your host, signing off. And remember, great nutrition starts with understanding these small things, such as the important concepts of amino acids and functional amino acids. So thank you, and see you next time.